Teeny cam.
Excellent. Small cams. Let's talk a little bit about what we're looking for. I think first and foremost, we need to always consider the rock strength when it comes to small cams. When we're looking at sandstone, particularly really soft sandstone, like what you might find in Zion or Indian Creek, the likelihood of failure can be higher just because these cams can break the small features around them and come out. So that's maybe the very first thing to consider when it comes to risk management around cams. When we're talking about climbing gear and we're talking about strengths of the gear, we're often talking about in kilonewtons. That's the KN insignia you see on all your stuff. A standard lead fall, a regular lead fall, is between 2 and 5 kilonewtons. And maybe a really bad one might be between 3 and 7 kilonewtons. Mid-size cams can have up to 14 kilonewtons of strength within the entire system. There's lots of pieces to the cam. We won't get into that today. But when we talk about micro cams, these really little cams, they can go down to 5 to 10 kilonewtons in strength. But of course, it's all depending on how well you place it, if you do a good job, what kind of rock that is, and so on and so forth. There are really two types of micro cams. We have the 3-lobe and 4-lobe heads. The 3-lobe heads were designed initially because they could fit into tighter placements. Consider the Black Diamond C3s or the Metolius tri-cams. But with advancements, there's a lot more 4-lobe cams on the market. Some microcams advertise the idea that they have softer metals versus harder metals, and one of the theories behind this is that the softer metal will bite more into the rock if you're doing these like high-end hard, trad lines. But the reality is that if you're not falling much on these things, it probably doesn't matter. But if you are, you're probably going to wear out your softer metal cams a little bit faster. Different microcams have different stem stiffnesses, and obviously if you're cruxed out and you're trying to get that piece in and it's trying to go in well and you're like freaking out, a stiffer stem is better. It's not a bad idea to have more than one brand of microcams because the camming range and the widths are just a little bit off from each other. Every climber needs some microcams. The amount you place them is kind of up to you. I do think sometimes if you're in good stances, using nuts is probably going to be better. But if you're cruxing out and you're trying to get that piece and there's just nothing there, having a microcam or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what you're trying to do, is not a bad idea. Good luck out there with your microcamming adventures.